Knees out nice and wide. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower abdominals. And of course, at any point, this external rotation, this hip opener is too much. You can just point your knees up towards the sky. We're just, kind of pick a position that feels best. I want to challenge us to be in this hip opener here. And let's take a nice big deep inhale in through our nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. Good. Inhaling in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. One more just like that. Inhaling in. Big exhale out through your mouth. And start to seal your lips. Practicing breathing in and out through your nose as best as you can. Taking these nice long inhales and nice long exhales. And it's almost like when we're breathing like this, it's almost like pausing or like stopping time, right? Like we get to really slow down and pause for a moment. And it's all just by slowing down our breath, like taking these conscious breaths, right? Breathing is something that we do automatically. And it's nice to slow down and just focus on our breathing. Right? Something that we may take for granted because it's automatic. But today in our practice, we can really choose to focus on our breathing in all of our postures. So whether we're flowing and moving, moderately, you can still connect with your breath. And then when we're holding and pausing and slowing down, you can really focus on how you're breathing, making sure not to hold your breath. Taking your hands and gently just bringing them to the outsides of your knees to gather your knees and legs together to touch. And we'll hug our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a nice big hug here, rocking from side to side. Good. And then take your knees together. Okay, you can use your hands or you don't have to use your hands. And we'll make circles with our knees. So just circling around, about 3-4 times in one direction. And then you'll circle your knees in the opposite direction about 3 or 4 times. And then we'll take our knees and we'll separate them, opening them up and away from each other. So like little egg beaters. So again, just finding mobility in the hips here, finding space in the hip sockets. Good, and reversing the circle when you're ready. Okay, great. And then we'll place our feet down onto the mat. So knees will point up towards the sky. And walk your feet out about as wide as your mat. And when you do this, make sure your knees, open up as well too. So you're almost making like a V position with your femur bones. Okay, arms can move into cactus arms, or you can move your arms down by your sides. And we'll do a few more like cleansing of the hips. We'll just do some window wipers here, just shifting the knees and the hips from side to side. Also, as we're moving the hips and the knees, the ankles also follow as well. Okay, so finding this internal rotation and external rotation, just going back and forth. Again, this can be small, it can be big. Okay, whatever feels good for your low back. Okay, great. And keeping your feet right where they are, when your knees fall to the right, leave them to the right there and pause for a moment in this nice little twist here. You can turn your focus over towards your left hand and just breathe. On your next inhale, let your knees point up towards the sky and then let them fall over to the left. And then pause for a moment. And then again, you can look over towards the left, maybe towards your fingertips or your elbows, depending on what arm position you've chosen. And just pause here. And this just a really gentle twist here, okay, with the legs nice and open. Okay, great. And then we're going to inhale in, knees point up towards the sky. We're going to hug our knees back into our chest, giving ourselves a nice big hug again. Okay, good. And then bringing your knees together, you're going to plant your feet down onto the mat. Okay, so again, legs are together here. And now we're going to twist with our everything stacked. Okay, so we're going to roll over onto the right side so that we stack up on our right shoulder, our right hip, and then we want to bring our knees about 90 degrees out from our hips. Okay, so our knees and our hips are in line with each other. Good. And then arms are going to reach out in front of your shoulders here. You can drop your head. And then left arm's just going to paint across your right arm all the way to the left. And then we're going to twist in this way with our knees and our hips stacked. Okay, so maybe a little bit less mobile from having the legs wider to having the legs stacked. Okay, and look down at your knees for just a moment and notice if your left knee stacked on top of the right, or did it slide back a little bit, okay? Doesn't have to be anything perfect. I just want you to kind of take note how your body is moving, how you're twisting, right? We really want to twist from the rib cage up, okay? Keeping the hips stable as possible. Good, stay for another deep inhale in. Good, exhale out. We'll slowly roll back onto the right side, so left arm can come across. We'll make our way onto our backs, and then we're just going to roll over to the left side, okay? So again, roll completely over to the left. Left shoulder, stack up your hips, knees in line with your hips, 90 degrees, arms reach out, shoulder length, head lowers down, right hand comes across to paint your left arm, all the way out, reaching to the right. And we're twisting here, again, really thinking about twisting from the rib cage up. So again, you know, kind of just noticing what your body's doing. Did your right hip bone lean to the right a little bit? Can you squeeze your knees together, your inner thighs together a little bit more? Good. Good. Stay for the inhale. Exhaling, slowly lower back to your left side. Roll back over onto your backs. Good. Straighten out if you need to. Okay, we'll hug our knees back into our chest. Good. This time, if you want to, you can come into happy baby pose or a version of happy baby pose. So I'm just going to grab behind the backs of my legs and interlace my hands, letting my femur bones separate. But instead of grabbing my ankles, I'm just grabbing behind my legs. Okay. Okay, then we're going to do one more twist, okay? Little versions of twisting here. It feels so good to do right away today, okay? Okay, we're going to keep our right knee into our chest. Left leg out nice and long. Okay, let's do some hip stirs here first. Let's circle the hip, you know, again, about 3 times in one direction. You can use your hands. You don't have to use your hands. Good, and then we'll circle in the opposite direction. Again, thinking about this as like a nice hip cleanser, right? We're doing our like little oil change here for our hips, okay? And then from here, we're going to take our right knee all the way across to the left, reaching the right arm out to the right, okay? Good. Seeing if you can ground your right shoulder blade and right shoulder into the mat and worry less about the knee touching the ground. Okay, so again, this nice big spiral action happening from the chest. And the knees just, you know, moving in opposite direction here. Good. A few more deep breaths here. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Slowly make your way back onto your back, and then slowly lower your right leg down, left knee into your chest. Hip circles here, circling the hip a few times in one direction, getting that oil change on the other side. Good, and then circling in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, left knee can come across to the right side as your left arm reaches out to the left for a nice supine twist. Good. Seeing if you can ground the left shoulder down, the left shoulder blade down. Worry less about the knee dropping down and more about the chest opening. Good. Breathe here. Can you find more space in your breath? Can you take deeper inhales in, fuller exhales out? Okay, awesome. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, slowly come back to the center. Good, and then lower the left leg all the way down to the right. Stretch your arms up over your head. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Let your chest expand. Your rib cage can pop up off the floor if that feels good. Okay, good. And then slowly hug your knees back into your chest. This time we're going to rock forward and backwards a few times until we gain enough momentum to come on up to a seated position. Okay, good. Okay, seated position here. We're going to cross our right ankle in front, okay, in easy pose. So just sitting with your legs crossed, arms reach out to the sides. Okay, left hand down, right arm up and over, nice big side body stretch. Good, rise back up, switching sides, right hand down, left arm up and over. Good, feeling the ribs stretch, that side body stretch. Good, rising up, folding forward with the right leg in front, okay, dropping your head, making it heavy. Keep connecting your sit bones down into the mat as you press your hands down into the mat, right? So hands press down to help your hips press down. We're going to gently walk our hands over towards the left diagonal, okay? So hands walk over to the left. And again, we're not walking to the left side. We're just walking our hands so that when we look down, we're looking down at our left knee really here, okay? And then we're really grounding into that right sitting bone. So we're not lifting up or leaning. We want to really root down and feel anchored here. Good, let's stay for the inhale. Exhaling, slowly walk your hands back to the center. We're going to slowly rise up, bringing the knees together, leaning back, coming into boat pose, okay? Toes can stay down, or you can bring your legs up into tabletop, okay? Hands can reach behind the hamstrings, or if you're ready, you can reach your arms forward here, okay? Sitting up nice and tall. Good, reaching forward if you can. Maybe it's one hand, then the other, that's fine as well. Good, just holding here for 3, holding and balancing for 2, last one, holding, left ankle crosses on top. Can you hug your knees in towards your armpits and then just lower your legs down, and now we're on the second side with the left leg crossed in front. Side body stretch, right hand down, left arm up and over. Good, inhale in, exhale, release, switching sides, left hand down, right arm up and over. Rising on up, folding forward, over that left leg, over the hips, dropping the head, making it nice and heavy. Hands walk over to the right diagonal. So again, we're just really framing around the right knee here. So we're moving our hands away from the front leg. So we might get a little deeper stretch through the outer left hip. It just depends on how open or tight your hips are, where you feel this. Walking your hands back to the center, rising back up. Boat pose number 2. Legs come together. We're going to lean back, balancing on our sitting bones. Maybe legs come up into tabletop. We'll flex through the feet. Good, and again, you can always keep your toes down if you need to. You can always grab onto the backs of your legs, or arms can reach forward, okay? We're gonna bring our palms together to touch. And again, remember, you can always bring your legs down. And then we're just gonna go for a little paddle boarding or kayaking, okay? So we're just gonna move our arms from side to side. Good, just rowing, just gently. We're not gonna do too many of these. Just wanna kind of gather some movement here. Good, getting the core to kick in. Good. So let's just do 3 more on each side. 3, 2, 1. Legs lower down. You can swing them around. We'll make our way into a tabletop. Woo! No better way to get the core going than some boat poses here. Okay, we'll move right away in and out of cat and cow. Okay, connecting your breath to your movement. And again, it doesn't have to be anything specific. You can hold for a few inhales and exhales. Then you can round your spine, pause and hold. Never holding the breath, but you can always hold the pose. Okay. Slowly coming into a neutral tabletop. We'll take our hips a little bit over to the right. You'll turn your focus over towards your right hip. So you get a nice little side stretch through the left side. Good. And then we'll switch, hips move to the left. Focus looks over the left shoulder. Good, a little side stretch. And then we'll move with this little version of like a side cat and cow. Okay, so hips to the right, focus to the right. Good, hips to the left, focus to the left. And you can lean in opposition here to get a nice stretch. Okay, so little side cat and cow action. And when you're ready, you can start to add back in cat and cow. You can make circles here, moving any organic way that feels good to you. Okay, good. And then we're gonna make our way into child's pose. Big toes together, knees out nice and wide, pressing your hips back and down, reaching your arms forward, and then just lowering down onto your forehead. Good. Take a moment to connect back with your breath, inhaling in, exhaling out. Slowing your breath down, inhaling in, exhaling out. Okay, good, wonderful. We're gonna slowly make our way back up into tabletop. Okay, I'm just gonna turn to face you all this way. Starting with the right leg. From tabletop, right leg's gonna reach out to the right. Toes are going to face forward here, okay? Good, we're gonna walk our hands in, okay, so that we can come up to standing on our left leg. Okay, so you want to make sure, you know, we're not like sliding into the splits here. Okay, so you want to make sure you feel nice and stable here. Right leg's going to be nice and straight. Okay, arms reach out to the side. Okay, we'll do a little gait pose here. Right hand down, left arm up and over. So here's that big side body stretch that we did seated, but now we're going to move it up to, you know, somewhat kind of like standing. Good. From here, a little side plank action. Left arm down. Left arm's going to be in line with your left hip. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. And then here's your side plank variation, okay? You can stay here, or you can challenge your balance by lifting your right leg up off the mat. It can be low, it does not have to be high. Good, balancing here in your side plank, okay? Shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, good. Okay, right foot lowers down. We're gonna rise up, come back up, good. Right leg, we're gonna turn the toes up towards the sky, okay? And then we're gonna start to bend into the right knee, okay? And we're gonna plant the foot down, okay? So we're gonna bend into this right leg, and here we are in half warrior two. Arms out to the side, looking over your right fingertips. Good. Good, you guys. Yeah, when you look down, just make sure your knee is in line with your toes, okay? that you're feeling nice and stable here. Good. Okay, arms are gonna move into cactus arms. Okay, arms reach up over your head. Exhale, cactus. Good. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhale, cactus arms. Good. Inhaling, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus. From here, right forearm down, left arm reaches up towards the sky for half extended side angle pose, okay? So all we're doing is just moving this pose without the leg standing straight, okay? Good. Good, you guys. Okay. Woo! I don't know about you, but I'm feeling this in my right inner thigh. Good. Let's rise on up. Okay. Hands lower down. We're going to step back into tabletop. Okay. And then we're going to move to the second side. Left, right leg reaches out to the left. Walk your hands in so that you can come up to standing on your right knee. Good. Left leg's nice and straight. Arms reach out to the side. Left hand down, right arm up. Again, this nice big side body stretch. Good. Feeling the length between the bottom part of your rib cage and the top part of your hip. Good. Right hand down in line with your right hip. Left arm up towards the sky. Good. Side plank. Staying here or reaching those left toes up off the mat. Good. Balancing. Nice strong legs. Really feeling that work for that outer left hip. I know I feel it all here in my glutes. Good. Left leg lowers. We're going to rise back up. Good. Toes point up towards the sky. And we'll start to bend into this left knee, planting the foot down. Okay. For warrior two on the left side. Okay. Yeah. You can always take a few bends if you need to. Okay. Arms reach out to the sides. Nice soft focus over your left hand. And again, wherever your toes are, your knee must follow. So just make sure your knee's in line with your toes. Good. Breathe here. Good. Cactus arms. Okay. Arms reach up over your head. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms up over your head. Feel those lats work as you move your arms into cactus. Even little biceps as well. Arms up over the head. Exhale, cactus. Left forearm down, right arm up towards the sky, and then really bend into that left knee. So get a nice stretch through the inner thigh, hamstring, groin. Breathe. Good. A few more deep breaths. Rise on up, hands lower down. We're going to press back into tabletop. Okay, and then let's make our way into downward facing dog here. Okay, so you can take a little bit of weight off of our knees here. Hips lift up nice and high. Feel free to pedal your feet out, sway your hips, shift around. Good. Once you find that downward dog position that feels good, we're going to pause and hold for just 3 deep breaths. Okay. So inhaling in for 1, exhaling out, inhaling in for 2, exhaling out, last one, inhaling in 3, exhaling out, looking up at your hands, slowly walking to the top of your mat. Take your time. Coming up into a nice forward fold here. Feet will be hip distance apart. Taking any arm variation, okay? Hands can be on the ground. You can grab onto your ankles, opposite elbows. Releasing your arms down, we'll slowly roll up to come all the way up to standing. Take your time, rising up, standing up, arms reach up over your head. Good, and exhaling, arms at your heart center. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Let's grab our right wrist and lean over to the left. Okay, so again, it's just like that nice big side body bend here. Good. Rising back up, switching sides, grab your left wrist, lean over to the right. Rising back up, cactus arms, okay? So that we can interlace our hands behind our back. Roll your shoulders, soften your knees, lift your chest up, And then slowly start to fold forward here in your forward fold chest expansion, okay? Good, so you're getting into the chest here. And as you start to warm up a little bit more, right, the legs will slowly start to straighten. Releasing the arms down. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Right leg is going to step back behind us, low lunge. Okay, take your time. Really set up in this high lunge first, hands under the shoulders, back knee lowers down. And when you're ready, reaching your arms up over your head. Okay, you can walk up your leg and reach your arms forward, whatever feels best for you here in this low lunge. Okay, good. Same thing. Grab your right wrist. We're going to lean over to the left. Woo, finding that balance and stability. Rise up, grab your left wrist. Gently lean to the right. And again, it might be small, okay? But it's there, feeling stable through that left foot. Good, rise on up. Plant your hands, straighten the front leg. Half split, okay? Yeah, good. And remember, you can always use blocks under the hands if you need to, okay? But from here, let's really think about our breath here. So let's find a little bit more length on our inhale. And then a little bit more length on the exhale. Inhaling in. Good. Exhaling out. Okay, bending back into this front leg. Okay. We're going to lift the back leg up, coming into high lunge. Okay, so we went from a half expression, and then we're going to slowly reach our arms up over our head, rising up into high lunge. Okay. Good. Let's do a nice big high twist here. Okay, so right arm forward, left arm back, keeping your focus forward. Okay, if your balance is feeling off, or you can start to turn your focus slowly to the left, or maybe you pause, like looking at the wall, and then maybe towards your left hand. But just nice big high twist here. Both arms reach back up over your head. Exhaling, hands frame the front foot. Okay, we're going to step the back leg in about half or a third of the way in. Okay, so we set up for pyramid pose on the left side. Okay, so here's our second hamstring stretch. Okay, when you look back at your feet, make sure they're about hip distance apart, right? We don't ever want to be like on a tightrope with our feet in line with each other. So, you know, let that right foot step out to the right. You can even be Your feet can even be as wide as your mat if that feels okay on your low back, okay? And then just soften here over this left hamstring. I have a slight bend in my left leg, okay? That's totally fine also. You know, eventually it'll start to straighten, but again, it's not necessary. You may find it a deeper stretch with the knee slightly bent as well, okay? Good, pour your weight evenly into your heels. So not just the front foot, but also the back foot. Okay, your heels are nice and evenly weighted here. Okay, keeping your hands down, you're gonna look forward, step your back leg forward, forward fold. Inhaling, lift up halfway. Exhaling, fold, forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come up to standing. Arms reach up over your head. Okay, let's grab our left wrist. Lean over to the right. Side body stretch. Rising back up, grab your right wrist. Lean over to the left. Good, back to center, cactus arms. Interlacing your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart. Soft knees, forward fold with a chest expansion. Good, here's our second round for the second side, okay? Good, release the hands down. Lift up halfway. Left leg steps back this time, low lunge. Good, making sure the hands are under the shoulders, back knee lowers down. When you're ready, arms will reach up over your head. Again, take your time, there's no rush. Setting yourself up here, okay, because we gotta feel really strong through this right foot. We're gonna grab the left wrist, gently side bend to the right. And again, these are small movements, they don't have to be large, okay? Good, rising up, grab your right wrist, gently lean to the left, right? We're keeping our shoulders square, our ribs square, everything still very frontal towards the top of our mat. Good, rise on up. Hands frame the front foot, half split. Good, straightening the right leg. Good, breathing, right? So here's the first round of our hamstring stretch. Really, again, focusing on the breath. So we want to find some length and some space. Creating length and creating space. Okay, good. Good, everyone. We're going to bend into that front leg. We're going to tuck the back toes under to come into our high lunge. Okay, take your time, lifting the back leg up. Slowly start to reach your arms up over your head. Again, any way, you can always climb up your leg. It can be one arm at a time. Okay, just take your time. And then from here in our high lunge, we're going to take that high twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Good, and again, focus can stay forward to help with your balance, or you can start to turn your focus towards your right hand, maybe just slowly. Good. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, hands frame the front foot. We're going to step that back leg in about half or a third of the way in for pyramid pose on that right side. Okay, good. And again, just making all those adjustments, bringing your hands underneath you again. So you want to have that nice stable connection with hands under the shoulders. Slight bend in the front leg is totally fine. Feet are hip distance apart or wider. Okay, and I can kind of show from, this front view here. So instead of having my feet underneath each other, I can have them hip distance or even wider apart. Okay, good. Sometimes hard to kind of see where you're at when you're upside down a little bit. You're like hip distance apart. My legs are hip distance apart or wider, but actual hip distance the side view. Okay. Good. A few more deep breaths. And again, really press evenly into both heels, right? So we're not just in the front leg or we're not sitting in the back leg. We want to be nicely, evenly distributed weight through our heels. Good. Look forward. We're going to step forward, forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, fold forward. Gently rise up to come up to standing. Take your time. Arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Good. Let's move through just a few sun A's here. Arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling, lift up halfway. Gently step back, plank pose. So plank your way. Straight legs or bent knees. Lower down, all the way down. Okay, let's do a nice strong push-up all the way down to our stomachs. Roll your shoulders back. Lift up into Sphinx pose. So elbows and forearms down. Let your legs relax. Good, and then just press down to lift up through your chest, okay? I'm just gonna add just some back bending here for us through our sun salutations, okay? So let's stay for 2 more deep breaths here in Sphinx pose. 1 more, inhaling in. Good, exhaling out. Let's go ahead and lower our head down, move our arms out into cactus arms, okay? In cactus arms here, arms are gonna float up off the mat and then lowering right back down. Lift and hover your cactus arms up off the mat and lower back down. 1 more, lift and hover up off the mat and lower back down. Now we're gonna add the head and the neck, okay, and the upper body, okay? So arms are gonna lift first, then your head, your neck, your chest maybe, and then lower everything down in one piece. Arms lift up, hover up off the mat, then hover your head, lift your chest up off the mat as well, and then lower down in one piece. One more time. Good. Arms lift, then your head, neck, and chest lift, and slowly lower right back down. Hands under the shoulders, but press back up, downward facing dog. Okay, take your time. Good. Remember, child's pose is always an option instead of downward facing dog. Okay, so just listen to your body. We're going to look up at our hands. We're going to slowly walk to the top of our mat again. Take your time. Lift up halfway. Exhaling, fold forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come back up to standing. Arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Here's our second round. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, bow forward, forward fold. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, stepping back, plank pose. Okay, plank your way. Good, we're gonna lower all the way down onto our stomachs again, nice and slow, nice strong push-up. Good, this time we're gonna come into Cobra, okay? So untuck the toes, keep the hands under the shoulders. Start to roll your shoulders back, lift your head, your neck, and your chest up. And then see if you can hover your hands up off the mat, okay? Good. Reground your hands, and then lower your head, neck, and chest up, okay? Keeping your hands under your shoulders, we're going to lift the right leg up off the mat, just hovering it up off the mat, and lower back down. Left leg lifts and lowers. Right leg lifts and lower. Left leg lifts. Lower. One more on each side. Right leg lifts and lowers. Left leg lifts and lowers. Good. Reset your shoulders. Roll them back. Press into your hands. Lift up. Cobra pose. Baby cobra, really, okay? Then float your hands. Keep those elbows lifted. Reground the hands. And then slowly lower right back down. Good. This time, hands are going to slide under your forehead. Elbows out nice and wide. Good. And then we're just going to add our upper back and our legs together. Okay? So this time, keeping your hands glued to your forehead, we're going to lift our head, neck, and arms up off the mat. And then we're going to lift both legs up off the mat. Again, this can be really small, low to the ground, and then lower right back down. Head, elbows, chest lifts. Both legs lift, and then lower right back down. One more time, just like that. Head, neck, chest lift, legs lift, and lower right back down. Good. Hands under the shoulders, pressing back, downward facing dog. Nice little back bend series, okay? Good. Few deep breaths here and downward facing dog. Good. We're going to meet back in child's pose. Okay, lower down onto your knees. Big toes together, knees out nice and wide. Shifting your hips back and down. Okay, great. Okay, we're going to slowly rise on up nice and slow. Okay, just bring your legs together. We're just going to swing our legs around, okay? Okay, so starting just seated with your knees bent. Okay, we're going to take our right ankle and cross it up and over our left knee. So we're doing just seated figure 4, okay? And lots of ways to do this. You can hang on to your knee and ankle or your foot, okay? Sitting up nice and tall. This might be a big enough stretch for you. You may need to use your arms to really help lift your chest up, okay? But try not to collapse and let your shoulders lift up by your ears. You want to really press your shoulders down, so you might have to keep your elbows bent and maybe start to kind of bring your hips towards that left heel if that feels good. Okay, any version of this is totally fine. If you want to cradle your leg or hands behind your hips is fine, okay? Good. Just sitting here, just a few deep breaths. Good. Okay, great. From here, we're going to straighten the left leg, okay? So I'm just gonna walk my hips back a little bit, straighten my left leg. I'm gonna bring my right foot to the inside of my left inner thigh. So I'm like really setting myself up like I'm in tree pose. So I'm really square again to the top of the mat, flexing strong through your left toes, arms reach up over your head. Okay, this is really small. It's like a really small little twist to the left. And it's really like from like your belly button. Okay, so gently just twist a pinch to the left, extend up and over towards your left hamstring. And again, you can grab your ankle, your pants. You can use a strap here, your block, and we're just gonna kind of hang out here in this nice hamstring stretch on the left side, okay? And again, we're trying to avoid, you know, kind of turning our shoulders. We want our shoulders square to the left leg. Okay, chest over the left leg. And breathe, okay? So find that elongation for your inhale and space on your exhale. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Good, inhaling in, exhaling out. Okay, this is our third big hamstring stretch. See what it feels like to drop your head, maybe make it nice and heavy. Maybe using a different bind. Good. Gently start to release. We're going to come back up to seated. Okay. Bring both legs forward. Just give them a little shake out. Bend the knees. Figure 4 glute stretch seated on the left side. Left ankle up and over your right knee. And again, you know, trying not to like round our spine. So I'm trying to like show like roundedness. Okay. We want to try to have this nice long spine like we practice in boat pose. Again, you can use your arms to assist you to lift your chest. You can walk your hips closer to your right heel, which makes it harder, a little bit deeper of a stretch. My hips are pretty tight, so I'm not going to go too deep here at first. I'm going to have another hip opener for us, so you know we can ease into it the way that we need to. Okay, we don't have to go to our fullest extreme stretch the first time. Okay. Few more moments here. Good. Straightening the right leg out. Left foot comes to the inside of your right inner thigh. And again, try to square off as best as you can to the top of your mat. Arms reach up over your head, flex through your right toes. And again, it's a really small, gentle little twist. Baby twist to the right. Lengthen up and over. Good. So grab onto your pants, your ankles. Good. And really think about that left shoulder dropping so that's in line with the right. Good. So the right side's just as long as the left side's just as long as the right. Third big hamstring stretch. Be patient. Find softness, find length. Good. Notice that pause. Right? We're never holding our breath. And even though it may feel like we're holding the pose, lots of action and movement is happening through our body, right? Like we've got a lot of energy going on. We've got lengthening through the backs of the leg, maybe like slight little gentle pull up through the top of the leg. The spine is lengthening, our abdominals are working, our breath is moving through our whole body. Okay, so it's constant movement in our body, even when we are holding a posture. Okay, wonderful. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and slowly release. We're going to come back up. Okay, straighten both legs out. Give them a nice little shake out. We're gonna make our way onto our backs, okay? So slowly just lower down, roll down. Give yourself a nice big hug. Again, gently rocking from side to side. Planting your feet down onto the mat so that knees point up towards the sky. Right ankle up and over your left knee. Energetically press that right knee away. Good. Notice what your hips want to do when you press the knee away. Do they want to swivel and move to the right? Can you keep your hips square? And then slowly we can interlace the hands around the left hamstring for the figure four glute stretch on our backs. Okay, so just notice how this stretch maybe feels a little bit different versus seated now on our backs. Okay. Can you maybe find a little bit of like movement? So I like to shift from side to side, and that helps me get into my right glute a little bit more just by these small movements from right to left. Okay. Do your hips feel a little bit more open? Like I was saying earlier, my hips are extra tight today. So each time that I'm doing this, it's like I'm starting all over again fresh. It's like I've never done a hip opener today at all. Feeling the stretch just as much as I did the first time. Okay. Good. Let's just stay for another few moments here, a couple more deep breaths. Okay, from this position, we're going to move into half happy baby pose, okay? So all we're gonna do is just release the hands. Right hand's going to grab the behind the right knee, the ankle, or the outer edge of the right foot, okay? I'm gonna kick the right foot up towards the sky, extend my left leg out nice and long. Okay, my right knee is moving towards the outside of my right rib cage, towards my right shoulder, okay? And then, you know, that half warrior two that we did, okay, this is really getting to like the belly of the hamstring, the inner thighs, and the hips here in this half happy baby pose, okay? Good. And if it doesn't feel right to have this left leg straight, you can always keep your left knee bent. That's fine too, okay? So let's just breathe here. Okay. I'm going to play a little bit with just some hamstring mobility here, okay? So I'm actually going to start to straighten my right leg a little bit. And again, you know, my right leg is not going straight directly in line with my hips. I'm rotated, okay? So I'm just opening my right leg out to the right, maybe straightening the leg a little bit. And again, I'm really thinking about anchoring my left hip bone down. But again, this is not necessary. I'm really just doing it for like my hamstring stretch, okay? So again, you can keep the knee bent. You can kind of play going back and forth if you want. That feels good to kind of move around a little bit. Okay, good. Okay. As we come out of this, we're going to make our way back into figure four glute stretch, okay? So left knee bends, right ankle hooks onto that left knee. Okay, we're just coming back the way we came, figure four glute stretch on the right side. And then slowly release your hands, release your legs, and we'll switch to the left side, okay? I'm just gonna do little window wipers in between because that feels good. Okay, good. Okay, when you're ready, left ankle over your right knee. Energetically press that left knee away. Interlace your hands around the right hamstring. Good, glute stretch on the left side. Good, and remember, you know, the sequence is, you know, everything is optional. You know, it's all about the hips right now, so you can stay in this position the whole time. You don't have to move into half happy baby pose or leg extension, okay? You can take any of these kramas, and they're all right. They're all the right things, okay? Nothing is wrong in yoga. We're here to practice. We're not working on perfection or anything that way. It's really just listening to what your body wants and taking those steps, right? I'm just here offering sequences and postures, okay? But you really have to listen to your body, especially if you're nursing any injuries. Really, really important to tune in to what your body needs, right? You know your body best than anyone else. All right, again, I'm just adding a little bit of movement here. Again, totally optional. Works for me and my body. Okay, it may not work for yours. That's okay. My feelings won't be hurt. Good. Okay, good. And again, we're going to start to move into that half happy baby pose. And again, it is more important to feel sensation than it is to what you think the pose is supposed to look like. Okay, so you might grab behind the knee. Your right knee may stay bent. That's fine too. Okay, we're just thinking about opening the hips up. Left knee is moving towards the outside of the left rib cage or left shoulder. My heel is kicking up towards the sky. And again, whatever variation you want to take, grabbing your ankle behind the knee. Okay, again, it's just all about this nice big belly of the hamstring stretch and inner thigh. Okay, good. And again, your choice. You can start to straighten the leg if that feels right to you. Awesome. If not, stay in half happy baby pose. Okay, just offering again some exploration here. Good. And again, I can kind of do this from the back view here, right? So have happy baby pose. Keeping my right hip anchored. I'm slowly starting to straighten the right leg a little bit. Okay, playing with that extension. Going kind of back and forth. That feels okay. A few more deep breaths here. Good, and then again, we're gonna come out of it the way that we came, okay? So right knee bends. Left ankle hooks over the right knee for figure 4 glute stretch on that left side. And then slowly releasing your legs, releasing your hands. Little window wipers here to kind of clean out the hips. Good. Okay, good. Let's slowly straighten the legs out in front of us. Arms reach up over your head. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Good. Last, any little adjustments you would like to take before Shavasana. We're just going to take a really quick Shavasana here, okay? So if you're ready, let your legs be heavy. Give them a little shake. Turn your palms up towards the sky. And just allow yourself to breathe in the benefits of your practice. Right, taking that moment of pausing to slow your breath down. Okay, slowly start to deepen your breath. Allowing that breath to bring it more awareness into your body. To start to awaken it. So you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Making circles with your wrists and ankles. When you're ready, stretching your arms up over your head. And then gathering your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. Rolling over onto your side, your right or your left. Just pause for a moment there. Using your arms and your legs to help you come on up to a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. Just take a moment, to kind of just notice like, whoa, how does your body feel now after all of that movement and stretching? Bring your hands together at your heart center when you're ready. As you press your palms together firmly, just honoring and saluting the essence of yoga within yourself. Slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice. Namaste.